one of the oldest B2B expressions in the world. It was never actually an advertising line. It was just a mantra. No one ever got fired for buying IBM. And that mentality permeates quite a lot of business decision-making, which is not when we're pretending to answer the question, what's the best I can do, when our subconscious is answering the question, what's the worst that could happen? And we used to call this in the behavioral science practice what we call the London City Airport effect. Now, I don't know if you know London City Airport. It's a tiny little airport very close to the centre of London, which operates flights on small planes, typically Embraer 190s to kind of Amsterdam, Dublin, etc. And it's a brilliant airport. I mean, it only takes you about 10 minutes to get from one end to the other. The luggage arrives almost immediately. You can park within 200 yards of the entrance. It's a job. And despite the fact that the service was absolutely brilliant and you got more tier points and rewards for it, they could never make it work. And our explanation was this. You don't typically, if you're the CEO of JP Morgan, you don't book your own flights. You don't stipulate. You go, can you get me to New York Wednesday afternoon? Okay, right. The person who's booking, whether it's the corporate travel agent or it's your personal assistant, has a very, very strong incentive to book you on a flight from Heathrow to JFK on British Airways, typically. And the reason they've got a very strong instinct to do that is that's the default decision. And and actually, if anything goes wrong, your boss will then blame British Airways. The bloody flight's delayed. No, British Airways, they're so useless. If you do the creative thing and you book your boss on a flight from London City, if anything goes wrong, he or she will blame you. If you book your boss on a flight from London City Airport and the flight's delayed, you'll get a phone call going, if you hadn't booked me from this fucking Toy Town airport, I'd be in New York by now. And now you've made a decision. So you've put your head above the parapet, as we say in English. You've made yourself visible, and now you're exposed to potential blame. And we suddenly realized that that's probably why, the world's 4 or 5 big consulting firms are really big. If you go with a really large company to do your audit, you go with PwC or whatever to do your audit, and anything goes wrong, everybody goes, gosh, weren't PwC terrible? If you appoint a small boutique firm, even if it's better in almost every respect and cheaper, at that point, effectively, you've made an eccentric decision, and if anything goes wrong, they'll blame you for not appointing PwC.